Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I'm going to be showing off a riff which many of you have asked me to look at or to show off to you, because it's been sat in my arsenal for quite a while and it's never really been something I've talked about, I've showed off. But needless to say, the comments are always asking to see this rifle, the Discord's always asking to see this rifle, and when I do my live streams as well, there's a lot of comments asking to see this rifle. So, I've decided to give in, and I'm showing you off today my ASG CZ Scorpion 3A1 DMR convert. And it is, I must say, it's one of the funniest rifles I've owned, because it took me quite a while to get it into the field. I did have a couple of issues with it, which are now all resolved, which I'm very happy to say. But it's one of those rifles which, when I actually got it into the field, I felt a little bit bad using it, because it felt like it was almost a little bit unfair. Now, for those of you who are, eagle-eyed, you'll realise that this is like just a standard kind of Scorpion Evo base. Usually they're a lot shorter, and they're kind of considered to be more of a SNG/AR as opposed to like a sniper rifle DMR. This one though has had the works done to it. It has been the fully upgraded, fully DMR'd upgrade service that you can get from JD Airsoft, and it is an absolute beast now. And I must say, it's just a little bit ridiculous. It's genuinely ridiculous. I've not played with the DMR before taking this out in the field. I of course have my M4s, which just didn't really have the range or accuracy at all compared to this thing. And I've always thought that DMRs are probably going to be the perfect rifle for me, because they've got the range, they're semi-auto, so you can put loads of rounds down the range if you need to. They don't have quite as much power as a bolt-action sniper. In the UK, bolt-action sniper limits are 500 FPS on a 0.2 gram BB or 2.32 joules, and DMRs, they're usually around the region of between 400, 420 and 450 FPS. Depending on what site you go to, depends on how powerful your DMRs will be. I feel like it's a little bit naff at sites that have a 400 FPS limit on DMRs, because it doesn't really give you a huge amount extra power to play with compared to a regular AEG. Like running an M4 at 350 versus a DMR at 400, you're probably not going to have a huge amount of performance difference between the two. That extra 20 FPS up to 420 definitely gives you a little bit of extra power, and 450 I feel like is, yeah, it's a fair amount extra to play with. However, it's just so unfair. This thing here, if I take the suppressor off, you'll see how far the inner barrel comes out to up there. So you can just see genuinely how long the inner barrel is on this thing. The hop unit is right here. So we have got a decent amount of length. Let's actually just double check how long we have of an inner barrel. I'll get my tape measure out. So we are rocking a 500mm inner barrel on this, or thereabouts. And I tell you, that thing, 0.4 gram BBs in this, absolutely beautiful. It is genuinely so nice to use. So I ran it at Mayhem Airsoft. I can't remember at the minute if I've got any clips from that game day, but if I do, I'll pop them into the video now so you can check them out. And oh my god, it was so much fun picking people off. I was because of the feel of the rifle, it really put me in the mood of running forward and trying to get into a really good vantage spot as quickly as possible. And it's also so light as well, because it's all polymer. Apart from the outer barrel here, it is just so damn light. And if you want to get it into a tight spot as well, you can just fold up the stock like that. And of course, because you don't have to cock it, you can literally just use it like that, and oh my days, it feels so cheeky, hiding under a bridge or something like that and getting off lots of fast shots taking people out. But like I said, I do feel a little bit like it's an unfair advantage, a little bit dirty. I'm not sure how to put it. This thing is just an absolute beast, and I must admit, it was so much fun running it in the field. But I think that my concerns about DMRs were realised when using this. I'm a bolt-action sniper kind of guy. The feeling of, kind of coming up, cocking it, and every shot, making it count. With this thing, though, you just find someone in your sights and you just go pop, 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 until they call their hit, and then they get up and walk away. And even though it allows you to be super combat effective, and it's a lot of fun, seeing all these people walk off the field after taking them out, it does feel a little bit unfair. But I wonder, you know, maybe that's like a larger question of, you know, where do you draw the line with what's allowed in Airsoft? Should there be like a rounds per second limit? Should that be to DMR? Should that be to everything else? Often on Facebook groups, you can see people complaining about like, you know, 40 round per second AEGs, things like that. I personally don't really see the, like, why you would need that. You're just going to go through BBs a lot more, and Airsoft's going to become a lot more expensive. From a suppression point of view, it completely makes sense. But I'm kind of like of the thinking, if you're not going to hit people with, you know, like 15 rounds a second, you're probably not going to hit them with the 40 rounds per second anyway. But I guess with the DMR, if you're going for that realism, if you're doing like a mil sim or a battle sim, I can understand why some people or why sites may say, like, I don't know, 2 RPS would be an absolute limit. But if that was the case, I would allow full auto if it was programmed to 2 rounds per second, because it's very difficult for you to judge, you know, one, like how many times you can go. And if it's 2 rounds per second, does that mean you can do 1, 2, 3, 4? Because that's still 2 rounds a second. You're just doing a fast double tap to you know, to I guess be scary, get that impact, hopefully try and take people out. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I'll put that on the list and we'll do that as a video another time. Also, by the way, while I'm talking about the Evo and while it's in my mind, we've now got some Evo products added to the store, which you can get for yours, and it will help things out. We've got one of them so far is a hop adjustment kind of like add-on. So the hops can be quite tricky to get your fingers in to adjust. With this thing, it just pushes on there and makes it much easier for you to do. The other item we've got in there at the minute, if you've got a stock ASG trigger, all you do, take the trigger unit out, and then you slide this little tool, this little pad, onto the trigger, and it reduces the movement needed of the trigger in order for you to take your shot. So if you want to make your trigger more speedy and more responsive, that is just for you. But yeah, check them out on the website. Link is below in the description. Made by Howl as well. So thank you very much, Howl. You are a dude. Anyway, coming back to this thing, I was running it both with a high cap mag here, which is, I think is about a 300 rounder, and then also 2 mid caps here. The mid caps I found were better than using the high cap, just because I hate the wheels. I hate having to wheel these things. But I figured out that the rifle does have a system which, when the magazine is empty, it stops firing. And that was something which was actually quite frustrating the first time I realized that, because I thought the gun had broken. I thought it had just stopped working and I couldn't fix it. So I, in the field, I undid the barrel, I took the handguard off, took the battery out, did that. Like, I just couldn't get it working until I then changed like the magazine, and then everything started working perfectly fine. So if that is the case and the reason why that happened, I've sussed it out. So hooray! Good going me. But the mid caps, I just always love mid caps. Mid caps are just always a much better option. They feel better in the gun. You don't have to do any of the winding, and it's just a better experience, I kind of find. Like this, running around with the high cap, you've got like the rattling noise, you've got to wheel it all the time, and you know, so many times you'll be ready to take your shot at somebody, and then all of a sudden you need to do this. And if you're trying to be sneaky, and you know, people are kind of nearby, if you're behind a building doing that, they're gonna know where you are. But ultimately, this thing is a lot of fun to use. Like, genuinely, I had so much fun using this out in the field. But it did kind of like beg the question of, is this fair? And I don't think it is. But I do want to use it again. I want to run it and I want to make a gameplay of it so I can show you exactly what happened. The clips from the day at Mayhem were corrupt on the GoPro, and I'm so sad about that, just because I did this sick play where I ran out with the rifle, jumped, slid down like a ledgy thing onto a bridge, jumped over like a lake, took people out with a pistol, jumped back over, took people out with this, and it was epic. It's gone forever now, but I did it, and it's in my head now as something that I want to do, and I'm determined to do that again. So when I go back to Mayhem, I'm going to see if I can try and recreate that. Hopefully there'll be enemies in the right places for me to take them out to, and yeah, I can show you what happened on that day with that footage, which sadly didn't make it back home. Man, I'm still so salty about that. I'm so sad about that. Oh man, so many things went wrong for me on that day. But hey, we're airsofters. It's part of the gig. We part with that and we move on to the next day. So that's what we're going to do. Huge shout out to all my patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you all very much. You are amazing people, keeping the lights on, keeping the content coming. And I'm very thankful for each and every one of you. Also, huge shout out to the Discord community. If you'd like to make some Airsoft friends, click the link in the description below. Check it out, join up, get some friends in there, and yeah, have a little look around. There's memes and cell groups and things like that. So yeah, check it out, enjoy. And also, check out Project Airsoft and the link below to check out some of the new Evo items that we have in the store. There's going to be more coming as well, so make sure to check back regularly if you're an avid Evo user. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Remember to call your hits, and I'll see you in the next one.